London, 1888, Whitechapel, 5 women murdered, mutilated, never caught. Jack the Ripper, most famous serial killer in history. I've been to the crime scenes, walked those streets at night, felt the residual darkness. You know what I found? Nothing supernatural, no demon possession, no dark magic, just a man with a knife and hatred for women. That's somehow worse. All the monsters I've fought, and the scariest one was just human. You ever think about that?
I've encountered my share of human monsters. Men who killed not for survival or strategy, but for pleasure, for control. Jack the Ripper killed 5 women. Got famous because he was mysterious, never caught, left a legend. I've seen killers who murdered hundreds and no one remembers their names. The difference is Jack made it theatrical. The mutilations, the timing, the location. He understood how to create fear, how to make himself unforgettable. That takes a certain intelligence, a certain awareness. Was he the hardest to figure out, or just the luckiest?
Luck played a part. Victorian forensics were rubbish. No fingerprinting, no DNA, no cameras, just witnesses who were drunk or terrified or didn't want to get involved. The investigation was a mess. Contaminated crime scenes, lost evidence, incompetent detectives. Jack could have been anyone, a doctor, a butcher, a sailor, a local. We'll never know. That's what makes him hard to figure out. Not because he was brilliant, because the investigation was bollocks from the start. Compare that to the Zodiac. Modern police, modern forensics, still never caught him.
The Zodiac killed 5 confirmed victims, sent letters, created ciphers, taunted police, made it a game. He wanted attention, wanted recognition, wanted to prove he was smarter than everyone. That's ego, that's weakness. Jack the Ripper was different. No verified letters, no contact with police, just killed and vanished. The "from hell" letter was likely a hoax, journalists trying to sell papers. The real Ripper was silent, did his work, disappeared into the fog. That's discipline. That's someone who kills for the act itself, not the fame. Harder to catch, harder to profile, harder to understand.
You're assuming Jack was disciplined. I think he stopped because circumstances forced him. Serial killers don't just quit, they escalate. They need it like a drug. Jack killed brutally, took organs, spent time with the bodies, then nothing. That's not control. Something happened. He died, got arrested for something else. Left the country, went to an asylum. Something external stopped him. The Zodiac stopped too. Eventually, they all do. Either they're caught, they die, or they get too old to continue. The hardest ones are the ones we never connect to multiple crimes.
Andrei Chikatilo, the butcher of Rostov, Soviet Union, killed 53 people over 12 years, mostly children. Police knew there was a killer, couldn't catch him for years. The system was slow, inefficient. He kept killing. They finally caught him in 1990. Confession, trial, execution. He was hard to catch because he adapted, changed locations, varied his methods slightly, used the system's weaknesses against him. Jack stayed in Whitechapel, same area, same victim type, same method. That should have made him easier to catch, if the police had been competent.
Chikatilo's a good example. Harder than Jack because he evolved. Learned from close calls, traveled, changed tactics. Jack had a pattern. Prostitutes, Whitechapel, late night. Throat cut first, then mutilation. That's predictable. That's catchable if anyone had the tools or training. Here's the real question though. Who was hardest to figure out, not hardest to catch? Those are different. Jack's hard to figure out because we have no evidence, just theories. The Zodiac left evidence, left letters. We just can't match it to anyone, which is harder. A mystery with no clues or a puzzle with pieces that don't fit.
A puzzle with pieces that don't fit is solvable eventually. Technology advances, DNA databases expand. The Golden State Killer was caught decades later through family DNA. Joseph James D'Angelo, former cop, 1970s and 1980s, killed 13 people. Police had DNA, had evidence, took 40 years. New technology got him. The Zodiac will likely be identified the same way. Eventually, Jack, nothing to test. No DNA, no fingerprints. Crime scenes are gone. Evidence destroyed or lost. We'll never know who he was. That makes him harder to figure out, not through brilliance, through absence. Time erased the answers.
Fair point. What about active cases? Killers operating right now that we don't even know about. Truck drivers, travelers, people who kill across state lines, across countries. Different jurisdictions don't share information, don't connect the dots. By the time anyone notices the pattern, dozens are dead. Those are the hardest, not the famous ones, the invisible ones. Jack became famous. Zodiac became famous. Fame means resources, means attention. The hardest killers are the ones no one's looking for yet.
You're describing modern serial killers, the ones who understand technology, who know how to avoid cameras, how to use burner phones, how to travel without leaving digital footprints. They're harder than Jack ever was. Jack had fog and darkness. Modern killers have to hide from satellites, from cell towers, from traffic cameras, from social media, the ones who succeed despite all that surveillance. Those are brilliant, or lucky, probably both. Jack would be caught in a week today. His pattern was too obvious, his kills too concentrated. Modern forensics would destroy him.
Would they though? We've got all that technology and killers still slip through. Look at Israel Keys. Killed at least 3 people, probably more. Buried kill kits across the country, traveled thousands of miles to kill strangers. No connection to victims, no pattern, no motive we could see. He planned for years, finally got caught for a mistake, a ransom note, one error after years of perfection. Killed himself in jail before revealing how many he'd actually murdered. That's hard mode. Someone who thinks like a tactician, plans like a general, kills like a ghost.
He understood that patterns get you caught, so he eliminated patterns. Random victims, random locations, random timing. The only way they caught him was luck. He got sloppy, got comfortable, made one mistake. Jack never got comfortable, killed 5 times and stopped. Whether by choice or force, we don't know. But he never made that crucial error, never gave police the break they needed.
Ted Bundy, killed 30 people minimum, probably more. Charming, educated law student, knew how forensics worked, how investigations ran, used that knowledge to stay ahead, changed states, changed victim types slightly, dumped bodies in different locations, got caught, escaped twice, kept killing, finally executed in 1989. He was hard to catch because he understood the system, knew how to exploit it. Jack didn't need to understand the system barely existed.
Bundy was caught multiple times, escaped, got sloppy, let his ego control him, started taking risks, killing too frequently, too brazenly. The final killing spree in Florida was reckless. He wanted to be caught at that point, wanted the attention, wanted the trial, wanted the fame. That's not discipline. That's narcissism. Jack killed and disappeared. Bundy killed and performed. Different psychology, different skill set. As for hardest to figure out, I'd say Harold Shipman, British doctor, killed 218 patients minimum, possibly 250, over decades, used his position, used trust, injected them with lethal doses, signed their death certificates. No one questioned a doctor. Finally caught in 1998. How do you figure out a killer when their murders look like natural causes?
Shipman's a perfect example. Hardest to figure out because his kills were hidden in plain sight. Old patients dying isn't suspicious. Doctors signing death certificates isn't unusual. He had perfect cover. Jack the Ripper had fog and chaos. Shipman had legitimacy and authority. Both used their environments. Both exploited vulnerabilities in their victims. Both operated in societies that weren't looking for them. Jack's victims were prostitutes, easy to dismiss. Shipman's victims were elderly, expected to die anyway, so sign spots.
The hardest killer to figure out isn't the most violent, isn't the most famous. It's the one who hides in society's assumptions, the one who kills people we expect to die, the one whose murders look like accidents or natural causes or something else entirely. Jack the Ripper is famous because he was theatrical, because he created fear, because he was never caught. But was he the hardest to figure out? No. Shipman killed 40 times more people over a longer period and no one noticed. The hardest killers aren't the ones we remember. They're the ones we never suspected in the first place.